And we're live.
Oh, welcome everyone to today's live event on developing digital competences. We're very happy to have you with us. I'm Janet Ayub and I'm joining from Lebanon. And here's my colleague Nelson. Hi Nelson, how are you?
Hello, Janet. Very well. And you?
I'm fine. Do you think this is an interesting topic, developing
Oh,
digital competences?
oh, absolutely. I think it'll be a very exciting talk for our teachers.
I hope they love it. So, would you like to start with the first question from the community member?
Yes,
And
of course.
somehow, yes.
Just to
So,
just to remind participants if they'd like to tell us where they're joining us from in the chat, and if they have any questions about digital competencies
digital
and
competences,
using digital
exactly.
tools in the classroom, they
Yeah,
can write their questions in the chat.
sure, that's right. So, let's start with the first question. Now, how do you feel about using technology? With respect to me, I feel generally comfortable using technology, but that confidence has developed over time. At first, I was quite hesitant because I worried about things going wrong during the lesson. With practice and a few backup plans in place, I gradually became more confident. Now, I see technology as a helpful support that can make learning more engaging and interactive as long as I approach it step by step and choose tools that truly add value to our lessons. What about you, Nelson?
Oh, hello, Janet. Sorry, Nelson's
Hello.
changed. I think Nelson's just rejoining the broadcast. But yeah, thanks for
Okay, so
getting
I
us.
continue. Yeah,
Yes.
okay. So, yes, I think also what really helped me was having a plan B, a simple worksheet sometimes, a resource book activity, or a backup task, just in case the technology didn't work. That safety net made me more confident to try new tools. I also agree completely about working with a colleague, pairing up with a buddy to explore a new tool that makes the process so much easier and much less stressful. And again, we can talk about rehearsing, which is a key. I always try a tool on my own or with a colleague before using it in class. Even a quick run through can make a big difference. So, when we talk about digital tools and digital competences, it's not that easy. We have to consider many things, we have to try many things. And here, uh, what we have uh, what we have to consider all the time, we have to work on having plan B. And also, we can see that many things might worry us. So this is the most important thing that we might think of. So,
Yes.
and yes, Nelson, what
Yes.
do you think, Nelson?
Well, no,
Yes.
I completely agree with what you were saying because I had a similar story when I first started teaching. I was a little bit,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
afraid of trying out new things, right? Because I think as teachers,
mm-hmm,
we're always perhaps a little bit concerned about losing face with our students when we're not very
mm-hmm,
confident with a new technique or a new technology or a
mm-hmm,
new tool. So for me, it was
mm-hmm,
also a process of trial and error. So of course, at the
mm-hmm.
beginning, when it's something new that we haven't used before, we have to learn the ropes, right? We have to learn how to use it, and it takes a few times until we're confident with the technology. And once we are, then it's great because then we can teach other teachers how to use the tool.
That's
So
right.
I think it takes a
Mm.
little bit of courage at the beginning, but it pays off. And as you said, I think that plan
Yes.
B helps a lot when unexpected things happen and the technology stops
Mm-hmm.
working or it's not working as planned. Then if we have a
Mm-hmm.
plan B, then it always helps. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
And here we move to the second question, an important question. Why use digital tools? Why should we? Sometimes we need to use digital tools. So, digital tools can really enrich our teaching because they offer learners new ways to engage, to practice, and express themselves. They also help us create more interactive lessons. This is very important. Interaction, support different learning preferences, and make activities more motivating.
Mm-hmm.
Also, they also allow learners to collaborate, to access authentic materials, and receive immediate feedback. When used with a purpose, they don't replace good teaching. This is very, very important. They
Mm.
simply support it and help us
Yeah.
create more dynamic and inclusive learning
Mm.
experiences. What do you think,
Yeah.
Nelson? Do you
Yes.
agree?
Yes, I agree. I think it's, as you say, it reflects real life contexts, right? Technology is all around us as adults and young
Mm-hmm.
learners as well. We are used to using technology. So it's bringing the outside world, the authentic outside world into the classroom. And it's developing essential 21st century skills like digital literacy and also media literacy. I think is important to develop with technology so as to make our learners better critical thinkers, right? Now there's so many fake news out there that it's very good to expose especially teenagers to that kind of material and get them to think about how authentic do you think it is or how true do you think it is. So digital literacy, learning to use the tools, learning to find information online, and being critical and evaluating the content that they read online it is very, very
Mm-hmm.
important, I think. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I
Just to say
totally
hello
agree
to
with you.
our members from Zambia, hello, and
Yeah.
Pakistan, Algeria, from Sharjah in the United Arab Emirates.
Wow.
Welcome, everyone.
Wonderful.
Fantastic. Okay. Um,
Fantastic.
what
Yeah, from
about
different
what about
parts of the world.
what about some of the questions that the community members asked us, Janet? One of
Yes,
them
they
was,
decide. Okay. Yes,
how do you decide what tool to use? I think was one of the
exactly.
questions that teachers asked us.
Yes, yes. I think when choosing a tool, Nelson, we have to start with the learning objectives. And
Mhm,
where I ask myself, what do I want my learners to achieve? The tool should support the task and not the other way around. I
mhm,
also consider how easy it is for learners use, the time it will take to
mhm,
set it up, and
mhm,
whether it fits their level and context. And also, I think about practicality, internet access, devices, and whether I have a simple plan B. Again, we have to keep plan B if something goes wrong. And if the tool adds value and helps learners reach the goal more effectively, then it is, in this case, the right choice. So,
mhm.
what do you think?
Yes, yes. Our community members said that to decide whether to use a digital tool, you must first define your lesson goals and consider if the tool supports those goals, which
Objectives.
is what you were
Mm-hmm.
saying, right? So, for example,
Mm-hmm.
if your aim is to teach writing, then perhaps you can try and find an AI tool that will help your students with writing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Magic
Mm,
School
mm,
or Snorkel. There are lots of tools out there that help students improve the writing. So it's not so much
mm.
about the tool, right? Or using AI, which is very broad. It's more about what are my
Exactly.
language learning objectives and what tools can I use for those objectives. Um,
Exactly.
Also, thinking about, for example, if, for example, you choose to use a tool for vocabulary learning, are you going
Mm,
to use a tool to teach the language discreetly, which means only one word
separately.
and revise the meaning of
Yes.
the word? Or are you using the tool for more communicative, contextualized practice of the vocabulary,
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
to set up a task based
Mm,
lesson? for example, to practice reading or to practice listening.
That's
So
right.
yes, it's the
And
objective.
also, yes, we have a lot for communication and collaboration. We might use the
Mm,
Padlet. We
mhm.
might use Jamboard for group
Yes,
discussions and visual collaboration. We
that's right.
might use also for classroom management and quick checks. We might use Mentimeter, Google Forms
Hmm.
for quizzes and exit tickets, Nearpod for interactive lessons with embedded questions.
Hmm.
Also, if we're aiming for creativity and project work, we might use Canva for posters, infographics. Maybe we can use Book Creator. Maybe we can use also Storyboard for creating
Hmm.
storyboards and dialogues. And so we have, so it depends on our learning objectives as mentioned by our community members. That's
Yes.
right.
Yeah. Another question that our community members asked us was about the challenge of using digital tools in collaborative
Mm-hmm.
tasks. And you mentioned, some
Yeah,
nice tools like Padlet, for example, right? Also, things like web quests, for example, are very good,
requests. That's
where
right.
learners
Mm-hmm.
find out information online and then use that information to put together a presentation or a poster, some kind of tangible product, right? So it develops, as we said before, digital literacy and research skills. And it's very motivational for them to do something together with the technology. So, for example, recording a little podcast using Vocaroo, for example, or maybe
Mm-hmm.
chatting online using a chat tool,
Mm-hmm.
um, or if you
Mm-hmm.
use Google Classroom, interacting together
Mm-hmm.
in the forum space. So yes,
That's
I
right.
think collaboration and using technology for task-based learning or for projects is very motivational.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And here,
um,
yeah, that's right. Yes, Nelson.
yes, no, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, so if we talk about the challenges really for collaborative tasks, maybe the main challenge is keeping everyone equally involved. Sometimes a few learners maybe may take the lead while others say stay passive. The
Yes.
technical issues and managing communication is one of the challenges that also was mentioned by
Yes.
that maybe because when learners work online, it's harder to monitor how effectively they
Hmm.
are collaborating. And some
Yes.
students may feel overwhelmed or distracted if the tool has many features. And
Yes.
also, you mentioned a lot of solutions for these. So maybe we might have the Google Classroom as a solution. So
Hmm.
if not everyone has technology in the classroom or needs to book in advance of no access
Hmm.
in the classroom,
Hmm.
it's better if we set it as homework. Or we
Yes.
might combine offline and online parts of the lesson, but we have to demonstrate the use of the tool. We have
Mm.
to give instructions before handing out devices to learners.
Yes.
What do you think?
Yes, that's right. Yes, I think according to the poll that we posted, I think one of the main
Mm,
things was access.
behave.
One of our community
Access,
members
exactly.
is saying in the chat that limited technology can be challenging. So one way to overcome
Hmm.
that, as you said, is either
Demonstrate.
setting it as homework. That's right. Yes, the learners use the technology at home and then they continue
Hmm.
the activity in the classroom. Something else, if it's allowed in your school, is for learners to bring their own devices. So it could be a tablet or it could be a phone, right? I know that these
Mm,
days phones are not
that's
very
right.
popular, but they're very, very
Hmm.
useful learning computers, right? If we train
Hmm.
them
Hmm.
to use them properly and
Hmm.
we have,
Hmm.
some ground rules that we have to stick to,
Hmm.
right? So it's like classroom management. But if
Ah.
there is no technology in the classroom and learners can bring their phones, that is one thing that they can do, and that makes learning
Mm.
a lot more inclusive if there is no technology in the classroom. Yeah.
Exactly. And this
Also,
one, yes, yes,
yeah, go ahead.
Nelson.
Go ahead.
No, about this would really lead to also to one of the questions that was asked by our community member. How can we be more inclusive when using digital tools? This is very, very important, right? And really here, so to be more inclusive with digital tools, we try to make sure that every learner can access and participate in the activity,
Mm,
regardless of their technical skills or the device that they're using. And
mm,
also, we have to choose tools sometimes that are simple and, as you mentioned, mobile friendly and don't require complicated logins.
mhm.
But above all, we have to keep in mind to give them clear instructions and model the task step
Yes.
by step. So nobody feels like left behind. So
Yes.
we have to give them maybe different ways to contribute, maybe audio, text.
Mhm. Yes. So demonstrating the activity, as Janet is saying, is extremely important before you get them online, right? Either on their computers or their phones or the tablets, whatever device they're using. It's very important to demonstrate the activity first before you get them to use the devices. Um, we have lots of comments here from our community members about word wall. It's very good. Hello, Chris. How are you?
Hello, Nelson. Yeah, really well. I'm really enjoying this session. So to everyone wondering why I'm here, my name's Chris, and I've been busy working in the comments with the people, the many people joining us here on Facebook and
Mhm,
on YouTube.
mhm.
And yeah, people are finding the session so helpful, Nelson.
Yes,
Thank you. So I just wanted to share a few of the things that people have been sharing and the questions they've been asking.
yes,
So,
please.
so I think the ideas you were sharing in terms of how to decide whether to use technology,
Mm,
that really
mhm,
resonated with
mm,
people. There are a lot of sort of comments and suggestions with that more broadly, but also in terms of sort of specific tools that people could use.
mm,
Um, I think what one question that came through from our YouTube audience was how can we overcome the challenge of limited access to technology?
mhm,
Um, I think that's sort of something you touched upon with maybe asking learners to bring in their own devices and
mm.
keep things as simple as possible. But
Yes. Yes. Or set it for homework. So if there is any way that you can set up a Google Classroom, for example, then you can send the links to the learners. So they click on the link at home and they can do a little treasure hunt. They read and find the information online. Or you can set up a web quest for homework as well, where they have to visit different websites and find information for their role, right? And then
mm,
bring that back to the classroom for them to do some group work, share what they found, and use that information to create something new, like a presentation or a poster or an infographic, right? If there is no access in technology, they can still do it on a poster, a piece of A3, so you can use paper. It doesn't have to be technology. But if they have access at home, then they can access those resources online at home rather than in the classroom.
yeah,
And I think this is very important, Chris. And one of our community members says that it's important to have communities of practice inside the school, especially if there is limited access to technology, to start sharing ideas of how work can be set for homework and how we can combine online work at home or when there is access at school and offline activities back in the classroom if there is limited access to technology. Hi, Janet. We were talking about how to overcome problems with limited
Yeah, and
access to technology.
this would lead to the top tip for supporting language learners with technology. So, what do you think? And so, my top tip here is to keep the technology simple and focused on one clear learning goal. When learners know why they're using a tool and exactly what to do, they feel more confident and motivated. So I always model the task first, as we said previously. So a simple tool used well is far more effective than a complicated tool that overwhelms learners. Now,
Mm.
for example, here, a smartphone, so why it works, you can say this is not a distraction. It's a toolbox. It presents QR codes, quick service, maybe also audio recording, video reflections, maybe AI apps for language support, or we might have a small whiteboard. Can you see it?
Yes.
With the four digital competence areas: information and data literacy, digital content creation, communication and collaboration, and safety and well being. Why it works, this one? Just all the time we can hold it up and say, everything we do digitally in class touches one of these skills.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So also we might use a post-it note, if you like, for digital reflection tasks. We write a simple prompt, if you like what tech helped you today, why it works. So post-its represent quick digital exit tasks like Padlet, Jamboard, Google Forms. So you can say even a simple post-it can become a digital reflection when moved online. So all of these, I don't know, so would help them. So the sticky notes, for example, or the post-it note might help them to reflect which
Mm.
one is better. What do you think of this online?
Mm.
So as you said, also you mentioned this about ethical and unethical use. So we have also to help them reflect by
Mm.
giving them guiding questions and helping them not to copy and paste directly, but to think critically of what they're copying, what they're reading when AI
Mhm.
or when ChatGPT, for example, might give them
Yes. Yeah.
something
Mhm.
related to a prompt or to a question that they're asking.
Yeah,
So, what do you think,
that's a good
Nelson?
idea actually, because I think the best way to show them what unethical use of AI is to show them ethical use, right? So, for example,
Mm,
small where the learners write on the platform and
mhm.
get formative feedback from the AI, and they can change and improve their writing and submit as many times as they like, is good use of AI because they're using the AI feedback to improve their writing. Whereas copy pasting from ChatGPT is plagiarism, it's not ethical. So I like your idea of the sticky notes. You know, they can reflect how AI helped them with the feedback, how it helps them to improve their writing when the teacher's not there. Whether they do it in the classroom or they do it at home, and then they can stick those sticky notes on the walls and they can walk around and read each other's and reflect because it's AI literacy, right? We have to teach
Yes.
students to use AI in an ethical way. So yeah, no,
Mhm.
I'm going to use that idea, Janet, if I can.
Thank you. That's great. So again, we have also to model a combined approach. Humans need to mediate AI output to make sure it's accurate and unbiased. This is
Mm,
how we help them think critically about
mm,
AI and the
yeah.
digital tools and what they're getting out of these. And we should not be afraid to try out new things.
Mm,
Sometimes, can you believe it, that our learners can help us out with the technical bits? They're excellent sometimes.
mhm,
Our learners, because they love this, and especially all young learners, adults, they might help us to really help us out with these problems or technical problems. What do you
mm.
think?
Yes, yes. I mean, I think peer support is essential whenever you're using
You
technology.
mean that the body, your a colleague? That
Yes,
you're talking about the help of a colleague.
yes, because I'm referring back to the community of practice that a community member mentioned. I think if we work with somebody, we have that motivation to try things out rather than doing it on our own, right? And if we can observe each other and give each other feedback and explore a tool together, then we train
That's
each
right.
other and we help each other. One of our community
That's
members
right.
says, "Is there any plan to train English language teachers about how to use technology in the English classroom?" I mean, there might not be training provided by the school, but if you try things out, you watch YouTube videos and tutorials,
Exactly.
and you try things with
Yes.
a colleague, yeah, then it's a lot more motivational, and you create that community of practice, so that you can, reflect together with a colleague on how effective the tool is. So I think the bottom line is
That's right.
don't be afraid, right, to try things
Don't be
out.
afraid. Exactly.
Get together with a colleague, explore the tools, and don't be put off if
Watch
your
the YouTubes,
classroom,
as you mentioned.
yeah, and don't be put off if your classroom doesn't have the technology. We can still use it in a more limited way, but we can still use it by setting tasks for homework, right? Or if they bring in
Yes.
their phones or their own devices, using those devices
Yeah.
in the classroom. Yeah.
That's right. Excellent. Now, we have one question that was asked.
Yes.
What's something that AI can do that teachers can? I
Uh-huh.
love this question, by the way. And
Mhm.
I think AI can support learning, but it can't replace the human connection
Mm.
that teachers bring.
Yes.
Connection,
Yeah.
rapport, relationship.
Yes.
Teachers understand learners' emotions, encourage them when they're frustrated, celebrate their progress, and make real time judgments based on the classroom atmosphere. We adapt on the spot, build relationships, I mean, we teachers, and
Mm.
also create a safe environment where learners feel seen and valued. Something AI can't replicate or can't
Yeah,
do.
that's
What
right.
do you think? Do you agree with
Yeah.
me?
Yeah, I mean,
Mm,
we need to mediate what the AI produces, right? We can't take it for granted.
exactly.
So even when I use AI to help my students with their writing, I still have
Mhm.
to read the feedback that the AI has produced before
That's
I share it with
interesting.
my learners, right? So anything
Mm,
the AI produces, we need to go in, we need to make changes, we need to improve it. We can't assume that is going to be 100% accurate or unbiased,
exactly.
or that is going to give correct feedback to our learners if you use AI for
That's
feedback.
right.
We need to
Exactly.
read
Because
it and we have to
mm,
put in our human brain to supplement what the AI has produced.
because it hallucinates sometimes. We
Yes,
can't
yes,
really, it's not that reliable. And we
hmm,
have to be critical thinkers, and we have to teach
exactly.
our students to be critical thinkers. So, this is the end of this live event. I hope our participant, our community members enjoyed this live event and really they should take into consideration what tips should be followed. And above all, we tried our best to answer their questions, right,
Mhm.
Nelson?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we have to encourage them to keep asking and to reply to each other. This is very important to just to read each other's posts and to reply to each other because this would create a great community out of this community. What do you think, Nelson?
Absolutely. Please do. Please continue the discussion about learning
Replying
technology
and
in the
yes,
community. Yeah, and as Janet said, um, post to the question, but also read each other's posts and reply to each other if you have something to say, because that's how we best learn in the community is from each other, right? So thank you very much for coming, everybody, and we hope to see you next Thursday in our next live session. Bye bye, everyone.
How to see more of our videos on YouTube. When using a shared device, check you're logged into your YouTube account. Do this by tapping the profile on the main menu. When sure you're in the right account, select Search from the top menu. Search for the British Council Teaching English channel and select it. Look down the page for British Council Teaching English. Tap on it. This is our channel. To be alerted whenever we share a video, tap Subscribe. Then tap Subscribed. Select All to be notified of all our new videos. To see these notifications, tap on the bell in the top menu.